Yet we are not supposed to grasp, and not grasping is not grasping towards gross things. We are not only talking about that, but basically all the dualistic thoughts. So you may think, does that mean that we have to become like a vegetable, where thoughts completely stop, which is not possible anyway. Even you wish, it's not possible. So what do? This is what Prabhupada is emphasizing 3 times. Nime jingama kangarisho, semi jingama kangarisho, jodo jingama kangarisho. What you have to do is, whatever the thought comes, just watch it. Do not fabricate. Just watch. What do we mean by that? If an anger comes, watching it as it comes. Again, here we have to be careful. Okay. So, an anger comes. This is a little subtle, so listen carefully. When an anger comes to you, now that you have heard me saying, you just watch. So you watch. If you label as you watch, if you label, this is an anger, you are beginning to grasp. Similarly, if there's a devotion arising in your mind, you just watch. But as soon as you are beginning to label it, then you are already grasping. So, of course, I don't have to mention when the anger comes, if you think, this is really bad, this is a negative thought, I will get rid of it. Of course, you are already grasping that. If a love and compassion comes in, at that point you are so happy, you get so excited, you try to cultivate it, you try to remember it, you try to really look at it. Of course, you are grasping already. So what do? What is non-grasping? Whatever thought comes, watching it again and again. Many examples, like small children looking at paintings, wall paintings. You are supposed to look at it without any distinctions, without making any fabrication. Just watch. That, what does that do? That is slowly establishing the normality that I was talking earlier. Because as soon as you grasp, then you are not letting it be. As soon as you grasp and you alter, you label, then you are poking it. As soon as you are poking it, it will change, and then it will change its color, shape, and all of that. And when it changes its color and shape, you will get attracted to it because it's a story. There's a story there. Then you get more and more entangled with this story, and then for the meditators, 20 minutes gone by, you are still in the story. 40 minutes gone by, you are still in the story. For non-meditators, for the ordinary people, not only 20 minutes they have been going. Lifetime after lifetime, they finish one story, they go to another with another story. So I actually wanted to quote from the previous point. This in which Prabhupada is saying that all we do is just prepare, set up for the next one, next event. This morning we are setting up and preparing for this afternoon. This afternoon we are preparing and setting up for this evening. This evening we are preparing and setting up for the next morning. This goes on and on and on. So the aim of the preparation just never occurs. All we do is prepare and prepare. Why? Because grasping story, getting entangled with the story, getting caught by the story, and you get emotionally involved, of course, all of that. That is why we have to cultivate this wisdom mind of this. The word wisdom again is really it has been okay, I don't know how to put this. The word wisdom has been tarnished by making it into too holy. We make this wisdom too holy, too unreachable. Well, out of necessity, I guess, because you are supposed to prefer wisdom than the ignorance. You are supposed to aspire for the wisdom. So out of this necessity, we paint the picture of wisdom like too holy kind of thing. When actually, to a certain extent, when you are not grasping, when you are not dwelling on the path, when you are not dwelling in the future, whatever comes in at this very moment, whatever thought arises, without grasping, if you just look at it, at least I can say you are like arm's length, or probably even shorter, with the wisdom. In fact, some great masters of the past, like Jangan Bongdul Lodethai, has the boldness and courage to say, it is the wisdom. Milarepa's songs has this again and again. Between the past thought and the future thought, there is the wisdom. So many of these remarks we have heard. So this is sort of, I was coming from the really what do you call it? Philosophical point of view of the wisdom. Okay, now to be more practical, and this is again going back to the Virupa's tradition of introducing the perception as the mind, or perception as the mind as the illusion, and illusion as the inexpressible. More practically, we talk about vipassana and shamatha. Shanti Divas Nyamora Shine Rata in the Land of Nyamora, Thomas Shinetas at the Annie, Jitan Chawam and another. Only through the vipassana only through the insight wisdom one can distill the net of delusion. Again, I have to be careful here. The word vipassana, overused. And here, maybe this is not that important, but I don't know. Somehow I have to say this. Some of these things, really, please don't make a big deal out of it. It's just me expressing my own emotion. I'm very happy that everywhere actually there is some kind of interest to the vipassana, and this is so important. We should promote this. I actually have been inviting Burmese monks, organized vipassana teachings, of course, in different places, but also in India, and even traditionally stone Buddhist countries such as Bhutan. I've really actually asked them to teach this, because with two reasons I will tell you why this is important. I was talking about the Buddha Dharma with some royal family of Bhutan, and I was really disappointed with them. Now you can quote me, it doesn't matter. Because one of them recently have done vipassana under I think it was a Goenka tradition. And in this royal family, members, several of them actually, they said that, how come you guys don't teach us this? How come you guys don't teach us? This is wonderful. Bhutan is Buddhism in Bhutan is in a very, it's at the brink of it's very, it's in a very crucial turning point or something like that. Because suddenly there's a lot of, young people who are exposed to a lot of things, and what do you call it? Nuclear families. Suddenly there are lots of members of the nuclear families, and then lots of critical thinking, which is good, which is very, very good. And I'm just using Bhutan as an example, but I think it is the case with many Tibetans also. Suddenly they ask us, how come you don't teach us this? Vipassana, wonderful. This is really, it helped my mind. It actually, I used to really always forget where I put my, the car key, but now, I'm much more mindful, and I used to be really angry, but now every time the anger comes, I can at least watch it. All of that. Okay. The big part of this actually then goes to lamas like myself. We just, instead of really giving teachings and really discussing the teachings, we don't do that. And especially in a traditional society like Bhutan, I think it is the same case with the within the Tibetan. The gap or the distance between the lamas or the rinpoches and the ordinary Tibetan people or Buddhist people is too long. And it's kind of, as I was saying the other day, social expectation is too high. You see, it's a bit like this. The Lama is supposedly like a teacher is supposedly the physician. Student is supposedly the patient. But the doctor is sitting on the throne. Patient is just barely managing to get in and just throw the khana and walk out. Right? Now, of course, that if the Lama is omniscient, he knows everything. But most of the Lamas, like myself, of course, forget about omniscience. We don't even remember what we ate last night. So, how are we supposed to diagnose? Because I think students should really be able to talk about their problem. It doesn't matter whatever the problem. Because Dharma is supposedly a medicine. And some students, many students, they have strange problems. Strange problems from very, there are students who are really going through agony of not knowing which brand of dog food they should buy for their pet. All the way up to which car to drive, Mercedes-Benz or BMW today. You understand? So much problem there. So I think partly, there's a Lamas, we have a big problem here. We don't really communicate. So we are always in the ritual sort of world. So there's this gap. So, in a way, I should tell you, the non-Tibetans, the Westerners, the Chinese, whoever, you should really know that you're quite lucky for not being Tibetan, because, these Ingis, they will ask anything. This is what the Tibetans say, these Westerners, they will ask everything, which is an asset for you. I wish the Tibetans do this. Okay. So this is why the Vipassana, things like this, why don't you teach us Vipassana? Right? But there's another problem though, which is more serious, I think. Many of these Vipassana teachers, some very well-known ones, they deliberately hide and say, this has got nothing to do with the Buddhism. You understand what I'm saying? And this I don't like. This is part of my being jihadi now. You understand? It's really like first of all, many Buddhist scholars or the modern scholars or whatever, we trying to adapt Buddhism into science and science and physics. That I think is wrong. In fact, it should be other way around. Science and physics, they should come to us. Because 2,500, 600 years ago, it was the Buddha who found that time is relative, not Einstein. Einstein is only recent. Scientists, physicists, they have so much thing to learn from Buddhism. Not us, not so much. Actually, the only thing that we can learn from them is learn their language so that we can teach them. That's the only thing that we can learn. Otherwise, we don't really have to adapt to them. But in the process of teaching, I have a feeling, I think the logic is this. Logic is, we don't want to label it as isms. Buddhism, Hinduism, sometimes it actually frightens the people. I don't know how much truth in there, because actually, if you look at, I don't know how much truth there is, maybe one or two, but as you can see, the Buddha's view, like all the composites are impermanent, all of that is so progressive, it is up to date. The emptiness, interdependent origination, dependent arising, stuff like that is not a religious, it's not like a survival on the the survival kit made for certain group of people at a certain time. All compounded things are impermanent. Before the Buddha, during the Buddha, and after the Buddha, even today, it is still impermanent. So, I think, so what I'm saying is really important to practice Vipassana, but what is taught and the practice of the Vipassana is a Buddhism. You understand? It is Buddha's teaching. It should not be, I don't understand some of these great teachers of the Vipassana. I hope it's a great skillful means, but I think, look, many people, I don't know, somehow they strangely think that I'm modern, but actually I'm not. I'm the most conservative, I think. I have so much, probably one of my weakness. But when it comes to the Buddha Dharma, I think it is really important we do what is taught in the sutras, what is taught in the shastras. And give credit to the Buddha, not pretend as if this you come up with from somewhere in the beach or something like that. It's really important. We should take a break.